Okay guys, so in this video I'll give you my impressions about the Fiido D4S after 1 month. So I've been riding the D4S for a month, a little bit more some days, and I just did 300 kilometers with it. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about it. So the front light, starting from the front light, it's not very bright, but it helps, and like other cars will see you, but it's not a very bright headlight. Maybe you should consider replacing, but riding the city is not a problem. The horn is enough for the pedestrians and the other cars to notice you. The gear from Shimano is pretty good. The change of the gears is very precise, but nevertheless I usually using the last gear 6, like either when I'm using the electric motor helping me or when I'm like riding the bike just pedaling. So usually the 6th gear. Only when I get some high inclination I go to 4th or 5th gear, but in general I keep in the 6th. This is this throttle. I added a 3D printed part so it's easier to use, so I can be riding like this and do and twist instead of having to hold here, so just with the finger you can do it. I added also a bell in case I'm riding the bike without the electric motor. That means like it's turned off, so I use this. I bought in Decathlon, it's very cheap. Okay, so the main problem I had with the bike is the brake, actually the front brake, because even after like adjusting and like as you can see, like the brakes perfectly aligned, when I turn the wheel it will remain the same distance from the disc, but I don't know why this front brake is really bad. I tried everything, like cleaning with alcohol and like positioning very precisely, but when I brake it cyclically like change from strong braking force to weak braking force, so it kind of vibrate. And also if I ride with just one hand and I brake, since it keeps changing the force, it's hard because it starts to wobble, you know, like it brakes, so I go forward and then it's weaker and I go backwards, so it's kind of bad. But this is the main problem, the front brake in my case. The rear brake, I did the same adjustments, like I positioned it like very precise, but it's working fine. So the front one I'm going to change for the Shimano M375, mechanical disc brake, like the same system as this one, but the pads are much better and it's much better, well constructed. So yeah, the folding mechanism is working pretty good. Like usually I just fold here, for me is enough. I keep the bike at home, so when I fold here the dimensions are pretty good. I can put in the elevator and it doesn't it's not that big. I don't need to fold also here. It's for me it's enough. And also here I had some clearance between this folding mechanism, so when I was going like bad streets or holes, I used to hear some noise here, so I added some hot glue to decrease this clearance and also to give some cushion to absorb the impact. So now it's perfect, like no more noise. And what else? Yeah, I'm using these locks, like it's kind of a lot. If you see, like I have this one guard, like a brute arc. I'll put the link below. It's a pretty good lock I have for many years. I used to use in another bike, and like yeah, nobody stole me, of course. So it's a pretty good, it's very thick, difficult. I saw some videos, so pretty good. And also I have another one. So usually this big one I used to like tie the bike frame to a light pole or to some rigid structure, and with the metal cable I can like use the other lock and like tie the frame. That's the as you can see, the steel cable is here, so I connect here to the front. And also sometimes if it's not that easy to use this lock with the frame, I have another steel cable here, so I can also tie. So yeah, a lot of ways to avoid people robbing this bike. And also there is this rear light that I added. It's, as you can see, like it's a rear light, but it's also an alarm. So yeah, it has other ways, like steady light. And also when you brake or when you stop the bike, it keep the light steady, like in a car. It's very interesting. And it's also an alarm. So I'm going to show you, there's a remote control. So yeah, here. So yeah, you have a light control, so you can lock and unlock. And if it senses any kind of vibration, it does like a noise. So it's also a good way to keep the robbers away. What else? The tires like don't have a brand, but they are working pretty good. Like the only issue that I think is that in theory I can't put so much pressure on it. So I'd like to have more pressure, so it would be more rigid and it would be easier to pedal, and I would have like a longer range. But anyways, it's good because it's good to absorb some impact in the streets, the holes. What else? Yeah, like the pedal sensor, it takes like 2 turns and a half, 2 to 3 turns to start working, and also 2 to 3 turns to stop working. So it has this delay, but it's not a big problem. In case I want to stop, like helping me, the electric motor helping me, I can like press the brakes and instantly it will stop. So that's fine. If you want to ride the bike without the electric motor assistance, it's not heavy at all. The bike's pretty good. Like I have also a normal city bike, like 26 inches, and it's almost the same difficult to ride it. So and also considering that I'm using these tires with 45 psi, so if I use a tire with a higher psi, it would be even easier. So yeah, if you want to ride without the battery, or when your battery runs out, it's not a problem. It's really good. So I'm going to untie it here. The pads are like bigger and better quality, and also I think they are resin, and the original one is semi-metallic. So yeah. As you can see, it's just one size that moves. It's a different size. So I have to move a little bit the pads outward. So as you can see, I can move the calipers a little bit. I'm going to, let's see, maybe use these to tighten. Yeah, see, it's tightening the cable, so to be good for adjusting. Untight a little bit here and position it. See, so actually the cable I have to put back. See, so the caliper is now aligned to the disc. So now I'm going to tie it and see if it works. And now that the caliper is really tightened, I'm going to release a little bit the cable so the pads are not that close to the disc. And now, so now here I'm going to move also the pads a little bit away from the disc. You see now, no noise, the disc's not hitting the pads. I can put the here a little bit closer. Yeah, now perfect. No sound, so